One of the best parts of Warhammer 40,000 is the homebrew element of most factions. You can seriously take something like a Spacemarine chapter and combine it with just about any theme to create a custom army. Inevitably, the urge to smash together two factions in order to create a new awesome hybrid army overtakes just about every wargamer that has ever played 40k. And that's what we're going to talk about today in another episode of 40 Facts About the 40k Universe. We will talk about Necron Spacemarines. I will try to give you guys the somewhat plausible scenario that could happen to create an Astartes Necron hybrid army. This video is part of a series where the Sound Alchemist and I will be posting a theory/homebrew idea centered around an alternative reality of 40k where we ask the question, what if? If you guys are new to the channel, allow me to introduce myself. I am your host, Gersh1, your guide through the grimdark universe of 40k. And if you like this new style of video, please subscribe, smash the like button, and consider supporting the channel by sending us a super thanks, the perfect way to show your support for this series. Thank you guys ahead of time, but with that said, let's get into 40 facts and lore on Necron Spacemarines. The first thing that pops into my mind when I think of this awesome combination is, does it already exist? And the answer is not really, but kind of. You see, like most of the Imperium, Space Marine chapters are disgusted by xenotechnology. They have an extreme animosity towards anything that is not human tech, and obviously Necron technology is no exception. However, this hatred is steeped in the antiquated traditions forced onto most Space Marine chapters by factions like the Adeptus Mechanicus, which has a big influence on every single chapter, the Inquisition, which has kept a watchful eye on the autonomy of these Angels of Death, and the Ecclesiarchy, or the Imperial Church, which has manipulated their way into the culture of many of the Space Marine chapters. And although these influences have plagued the Space Marines for almost a full 10,000 years since the Great Crusade, there is one faction that does not shy away from using Xeno weapons and war gear, the Death Watch. Now, it's difficult to call the Death Watch a Space Marine chapter, as it's made up of a conglomeration of battle brothers from different chapters who are tasked with standing vigil over their domain, but these warriors are ubiquitous for wielding strange Xeno weapons into battle. So there is some form of precedence of Space Marines using Necron technology to fight for the Imperium. And there are two reasons why this is important. The first is that it proves that Space Marines are capable of physically using Necron technology. They might not understand the full capacity of this alien tech, but have the means to manipulate it to use it in their favor, a crucial step in establishing our Necron Space Marines. It also shows that they don't shy away from using xenotech, if not at least ignoring the established stigma or playing dumb. The second is that despite the disapproval of all of the other Imperial factions, the Death Watch is able to get away with using alien technology, meaning that a Necron Space Marine army would have to be tolerated if their duty or their charge was just as important as the Death Watch. Now we have to ask the question, why would a battle brother undergo hybridization with Necron technology? And the answer to that lies in the ideologies of one of the most famous Space Marine chapters, the Iron Hands. You see, the Iron Hands hold on to the belief that the flesh is weak. They view the improvements of the organic with the mechanical as something that should be sought after. They still respect the physical form and view their bodies as a blessing bestowed onto them by the Emperor of Mankind, but bionics are a way to enhance the godlike abilities of all battle brothers. And through these improvements, a battle brother is seen as becoming a stronger warrior because of the advantages provided by the machine. And there is no technology in the 40k universe more advanced than that of the Necrons. And so what if a successor chapter of the Iron Hands takes it upon themselves to improve their bodies not just with standard Imperial bionics, but Necron tech, using the materials found on their homeworld, which could have been an ancient Necron tomb world, whose reanimation protocols failed to kick in, and the tech marines of that chapter salvaged the Necron technology and incorporated into each member of their chapter. Not only would that be an awesome origin story to this chapter, but it could open up a narrative storyline that the chapter must seek out and conquer new tomb worlds in order to maintain a steady source of tech for each generation of battle brothers. This Necron Space Marine chapter would in fact be Necron Grave Robbers. Now the question becomes, what type of enhancements would these Astartes warriors get if they incorporated Necron tech? Because let's be honest, we don't just want battle brothers that use Necron weapons, we want a complete fusion of the two factions. And the first obvious upgrade would be living metal armor. Not only would it make the already impervious Space Marines almost indestructible, but by using necrodermis on the bodies of Space Marines, their metal parts would be able to self-repair. And what's awesome about this concept is that the Primarch Ferrus Manus is rumored to have necrodermis arms, showing a connection between this successor chapter and their gene father. Now, incorporation of Necron technology would also mean the use of Noctilith, or black stone. This material is what made up the Necron pylons on Cadia and what is being heavily researched by the Adeptus Mechanicus in the current era. A Space Marine chapter with access to black stone would more than likely use it to defend itself against the powers of chaos, meaning that not only would a Necron Space Marine army be a major threat to other Tomb Worlds, but they would have a serious advantage over the armies of the Chaos Gods. This would make our homebrew chapter one of the most effective fighting forces in the Imperium against Xenos. Now, there could be some drawbacks to using Necron technology, as the new necrodermis parts might alter the mindsets of individual battle brothers, taking away part of their free will and succumbing to some form of the command protocol. But this potential danger would just create an interesting backstory. For example, these Necron Space Marines must constantly be watched over by a tech priest to make sure that the ancient command protocols of the nanoscarabs that make up their bodies don't take over their minds. And just like the Wolfen Curse or the Black Rage, once a battle brother is taken over by the machine, his body must be destroyed so that his soul may return to the Emperor. In appearance, these Necron Space Marines would look more like battle automatons of the Adeptus Mechanicus than true Astarte warriors, but I don't see them changing too much of the human form given to them by the Emperor of Mankind. So, as badass as it would be to see Space Marine Wraith hybrids, I think most battle brothers would simply appear heavily modified with bionics rather than canoptic constructs. Their fortress monastery would more than likely be a stolen tomb world where the chapter master would sit and commune with his council in a chamber that once belonged to an ancient Necron overlord whose throne is now adorned with an imperial aquila. And that's my vision of what a Necron Space Marine army would look like. Now I pass it over to you. What kind of hybridizations would you like to see in a chapter like this? Let me know in the comment section below. This is a very interesting topic, and I will more than likely return to it, but for now, if you enjoyed this video, please share with your friends in the hopes that someone will kit bash some type of Necron Astarte army. You can also show your support by sending a super thanks so that we can continue to create more of these what if scenario videos, and if you have suggestions for other topics, let me know in the comment section below. Also, if you want to check out yesterday's what if video on the Traitor Salamanders chapter, I'll put a link up above. But thank you guys so much for watching, hanging out. I'll talk to you guys in the comment section. This was Gershwin with One Mind Syndicate signing out.